Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Amacid and today, drumroll, it's patch note day. So obviously this is one of the most hype moments of any expansion, just to see everything here in one place. I'm sure there's going to be corrections to the patch notes as there always is, just additions. People ask questions, Bex will answer them, etc. But this is my first time seeing them. I have not read through these yet. We're going to do this live, or I guess recorded together. So you guys can kind of share in that with me, and I'd love to get your thoughts as well once you have a chance to read through everything after the video, whatever. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Forewarning, this might be a little bit of a longer video. I might break it out into two, but just be forewarned, it's a little bit longer just because patch notes are always long. You can see the size of this scroll bar. Crazy. Okay, let's jump right in. Oh, I will also quick note that I'm not going to read through every single number change. If it's significant enough, I'll kind of glance at them, but I'm not going to read everything like that. So, Echoes of the Atlas. Okay, we already know this. Heralded of the Envoy. Not going to read this. New Atlas passive skills. Watch my video if you didn't already. Cool. So that's all that. We all know this already. Ritual Challenge League. We all know this already too. Let's just give it a quick glance. Make sure there's nothing new. Challenge League. Ritual Challenge League. Alters spread throughout the world by slaying the monsters. Okay, whatever. We know this. Ritual, you can buy ritual splinters from completed rituals, which can be combined to create a ritual vessel. Okay. Using a ritual vessel at any completed ritual altar will turn it into a blood-filled vessel, capturing a record of all the monsters. So if we do that, I guess that's how you get the ritual vessel, though, precisely. I don't think they've mentioned that quite yet. Ritual splinters from completed rituals can be completed. Okay. Some items are only available from ritual altars and may be very costly to purchase. You can pay part of the tribute cost for such items to defer them, causing them to appear again. You can defer items multiple times, whatever. We knew that. Ritual Challenge League, Private League, whatever, challenge mods. The hideout looks very cool. That's a motivation to go for 36 this league, because there's a hideout instead of just a portal effect. Super cool. Whatever. Okay, cool. New intelligence skill gem, Hydrosphere. They haven't read the description. Actually, I think they showed it during the stream, but I'll quickly glance at it. Creates a sphere of water or moves existing sphere. The sphere continually applies a drench debuff with a short duration to enemies in its area or those who move through. You can hit the sphere with other skills to inflict cold. Oh, that's cool. Other than shield, the sphere pulses at regular intervals. Okay. Trinity Support. I mean, this seems cool for the record. I don't know how it's going to actually function. I think they released the gems. Is it tomorrow or is it? I think it's my tomorrow or Thursday. One of the two. So seems cool. Trinity Support. Hit enemies, causing them to gain bonuses while you have resonance of all three elements. Seems cool again, but I kind of need to see the stats. 13 uniques. They showed a few of them. None of them seemed all that great to me, but I mean, we'll see what the other ones look like. New divination cards. They showed, I think, 2. And one of them I remember thinking was cool, but I don't remember what it was. 11 new maps. Great. Heist to the core game. Well, there's a whole section down here. I can see heist changes and a whole harvest section, so we'll get to that. Okay, minor new content and features. Texture streaming has been reworked. Many textures that were not previously streamed now are, and the image quality of streamed textures has been improved. This addresses some hiccups around the first time certain events occurred within a session, such as slaying some monsters is changed, monitored, and improved. Okay, sounds good to me. Kinetic Blast and Stormcall brand new effects. I guess we'll have to see what that looks like. Firestorm has a new skill bar icon. All right, cool, I guess. Pets now have a very slight delay before they will follow you when you move. Did this need to be a patch note? Do people really care about this? Okay, whatever. Opening up the portals to the Temple of Atsuado or the Syndicate safe house in your hideout after you've acquired a map device now creates those portals at your map device. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I mean, that's such a nice QOL thing. Great. Continue to incrementally improve the sound, artifacts, and environment. I mean, okay, great. This is nice. It's a nice little quality of life change. It was annoying to have to lay them out in my hideout so that way the portals could fit. Now it's nice to just replace the portals that you want to anyway. I guess that just means that you have to make sure you're finished with whatever map you're running, but that's fine. Okay, Heist. Kurai, as well as your first rogue markers, can now be found starting in Act 6. Okay. Smuggler's Caches now always drop a quest contract if possible in addition to an ordinary contract. Okay, that's good. I guess that's how they're accounting for, speeding the quest along. Smuggler's Caches now appear less frequently in contracts, blueprints, or rogue markers. Okay, as you'd expect. All quest contracts now reward you with rogue markers. Sounds good. I'm guessing that's just to take up for the lack of rogue markers dropping everywhere in Heist. Kurai's second and third quest contracts now spawn more monsters during the escape. Okay, cool. The number of rogue markers you get from completing contracts has been increased. You'll now get, on average, 20% more markers from level 83 contracts. I guess that makes sense to me, sure. The levels at which heist equipment drops has been adjusted. Okay. Job experience granted has been increased across the board to fit the lower frequency. I hope they tune this right, because this is going to be key to whether heist is fun as a side contact, it really cannot be a huge hassle to get them to level 5. It was a huge pain to get them to level 5 in Heist, and this is really important, so I really hope that they nail this part. Blueprints have been created through duplication. Must now be revealed again. Okay, we knew that. The Rogue Harbor once again acts like a town and will be populated by other players. I remember they mentioned this. This is, to me, was neither here nor there. I don't really understand why it matters. I kind of don't want to deal with the lag, so I was kind of happy that it was private, but hopefully it's not that laggy. We'll see. Because right now, Ariath, you spawn into like Ariath, it's a little bit laggy depending. I don't know. I didn't understand why this needed to be a town. I guess for a lore thing. Vendiria's chance for items from Heist to be doubled has been reduced, 14%, level 5. Okay, I mean, that makes sense because Vendiria's, that's just too strong. It was too strong. Huck now grants increased experience in Heist. That's good. That gives Huck some more value. Harvest rewards can no longer appear in Heist because Harvest is a thing again. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Greatly increase the chance of finding tempering and tailoring ores from blueprint rewards. Okay, I guess they were too rare before. That makes sense. The experience limit on all heists has been lowered, as in you will hit a point at which additional monster spawns grant no experience sooner. The limit has been lowered. Okay, I guess they were annoyed about people farming heists continuously for XP. I guess that makes sense. I definitely did that. Wakano's real audio no longer overlaps with itself, the most important patch note of all. Okay, Harvest changes. Harvest has been added to the core game. It's been reworked. Okay, garden building, whatever. We knew all this. Each plot is presented as a pair of options. Harvesting one plot destroys the other, so choose carefully. Oh, interesting. Okay, harvesting one plot destroys the other, so choose carefully. Like previously, harvesting will cause monsters to emerge, and okay, that's interesting. Once you've completed your first harvest, you'll be given a hoarder crafting station. That's what it's called. I can't remember what it was called, which can store up to 10 crafting options. You'll be able to place a copy of the hoarder crafting station in your hideout, meaning you don't have to do all your crafting in Sacred Grove. Fantastic. Who wouldn't want that? On very rare occasions, you do the heart. Okay, we do this. Tier 3 seed modifier that originally doubled life force from a harvest now instead causes crafting options to be lucky. They will re-roll outcomes twice and select the rarest outcome. Okay. I'm always skeptical of PoE's use of the word lucky because it doesn't actually really mean what you and I would think of as the word lucky, but you never know. Okay. Character balance. Aegis effects such as Elemental Aegis from Magna Eclipse no longer have their recharge timer interrupted by damage if the buff is depleted. Okay. The cooldown for gaining a flash charge from effects which grant them on crit has been reduced to 0.1. Okay, that's good. I guess that buffs that ability. The far shot keyword causes your projectiles to deal 20% less damage at very close range. I remember they mentioned this, I think, in the manifesto. Up to 60% more at a range of 70 or greater, proves 30% more. Okay. Tailwind nerf, I think this is certainly justified. Tailwind was just too strong. Skill balance. Added a new orb gem tag. Oh, that's neat. This applies to skills which have periodic effect over areas. Orb of Storms, Void Sphere, Winter Orb, Hydrosphere, and Frostbomb now have this tag. Magma Orb is renamed to Rolling Magma. Alright, well, look out for Rolling Magma. Specific skills. Okay, Anomalous Anger now causes you to deal 0.25 per one from 1. Okay, so they nerfed it. Divergent Anger increases movement speed at 0.05 from 0.25. Okay, they nerfed Divergent Anger. I guess that makes sense. People moving too fast. So, okay, that's a nerf. Arctic Armor no longer triggers when hit effects from afflicted damage, including any when hit effects from quality. Artillery Ballista now allows you to place an additional totem. And again, okay, sounds good. Bear Trap, now take additional 25% traps and mines. Buff there. Blade Blast. What is that? Now has 35% more area effect per blade vortex blade detonated. Okay, so that's a buff for Blade Blast. Blast Drain now penetrates 20% fire res. Another buff for Blast Drain. Blazing Salvo. I haven't used most of these abilities. I mean, I don't really trap. I never liked trappers, so that's already off the board. I don't love totems either. Blazing Salvo now has a radius of 16 at a minimum range. Now fires in slightly wider spread. Okay. Blink Arrow now gains increased cooldown recovery as the gem levels up. That seems good. I don't really use bow characters very much either, so but that seems good. Charge Dash now has a minimum radius of 14 up to interesting. Okay. Anomalous Clarity now causes you and nearby allies recovery. Okay, so it's a nerf to Clarity across the board. That sucks. Clarity nerf sucks. So that's another hit to Aura Stackers. Or I guess that's part of the hit to Aura Stackers. Cobra Lash, whatever. Contagion is a base radius of 17, so they nerfed that, or they buffed that rather. Cobra Lash buff, Crackling Lance. Now it's added. I remember Mathel saying that he didn't like Crackling Lance. I never played it, but I remember I feel like he was saying that he thought it was underwhelming. An added damage effectiveness of 115%. That seems like a great buff. Now deals increased lightning damage. That's a pretty significant lightning damage buff. So hopefully this is enough to make it more viable. Desecrate. Okay, I'm gonna skip over some of these because this is a little bit in the weeds. 1%. Oh, that's a nice little buff there to Phantasmal Desecrate. Determination. Anomalous Determination now grants you and nearby allies. I just can't stop reading this apparently, even though I don't want to read any of this, the little details, but they're important. So, okay. Per 1%. Divergent Determination now grants you and nearby allies 0.1% of evasion ratings, extra armor per 1%. Okay, so that's a nerf to those things. Discipline, I'm assuming this is going to be a nerf. Yeah, Anomalous Discipline now grants you increased damage while full energy per 1%. Oh, yeah, that's a tough nerf as well. Divergent Discipline. Okay, right now I'm remembering they said in the manifesto that they're nerfing Aura Stackers by nerfing a lot of the Anomalous and Divergent gems. Okay, so it's all coming back to me. So, okay, so it's another nerf to Divergent Discipline. That's a pretty significant nerf. Yeah, the recharge rate. That's a pretty big nerf. Okay. Spikes now have an explosion radius of 18 from 20. Now slightly more variance in the distance. Whatever. Firestorm now grants more damage. Okay, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of the patch notes in the past for skills have been purely numbers based. These seem like more fundamental reworks. I know they said they were working on a lot of this, but I know in the past it's always been like taking damage from this to this at level 1 and this at 20. You know, these are a little bit more in depth. The first impact now does 250 more damage with hits and ailments. Okay, so Firestorm seems buffed. Flame Blast no longer has plus 0.5%. Now it has a 50% chance to ignite all gem levels. Okay. I guess that's a slight, that seems like a nerf at higher levels. Divergent Flame Blast now grants 1% less cast speed per 1%. Okay. Okay. Frost Bomb. I remember they mentioned Frost Bomb had a pretty significant buff. Yeah, there's a huge buff to Frost Bomb. Huge buff to Frost Bomb. Now has a damage effectiveness of 300%. Now deals 14 to 21 cold damage. Is the same, but the level 20 difference is crazy. It's a crazy difference. Now gains additional radius as the gems level up to 7. Oh, up to plus 7. Okay, fantastic. Frost Bomb seems cool. That could be a really cool one to mess with. Galvanic Arrow now grants radius. Okay, Glacial Hammer now deals base weapon damage as an added effective. Okay, so a little buff to Glacial Hammer. Nothing crazy. I'm assuming Grace got nerfed. It did. Anomalous Grace now grants you and your allies. Okay. Chaos damage. Yeah, that's a pretty rough nerf. They had to cut it into a 5th on both of them. That's a tough nerf. I'm assuming haste is also a nerf. Yep, projectile speed and buffs expiring. Yeah, wow, they really nerfed the shit out of those gems. Okay. Hatred is going to be a nerf. So they really just nerfed all of the aura, Anomalous and Divergent. I don't think I've seen one that's been buffed. Maybe some unchanged, but none have been changed or buffed, and they haven't really changed the effects. They're kind of stuck their heels in there, which I guess makes sense. They've only been around for 1 league, so it's not like there's been a huge amount of time to experiment. Relative. Okay. Now deals base weapon damage. Okay, so buff for Heavy Strike. Hex Blast also seems to be buffed. Yeah, nice buff to Hex Blast. Okay. Infernal Cry. Buff. Kinetic Bolt. Lightning Strike. No longer causes projectiles to do 25% damage. I kind of like, I love reading the patch notes, but I really like the other details. Let's keep going. Malevolence is going to be a nerf as well. Yep. Brutal, just absolutely brutal nerfs to these gems. These are really tough ones, the Anomalous and Divergent quality auras. Really, really rough. Okay. Now gains cooldown recovery. It's the same as Blink Arrow. Pestilence Strike now converts more. Okay, great. Plague Bear, I remember they mentioned specifically they were nerfing. Yep, that's another nerf. Precision. Oof, yeah, that's another brutal nerf. Yeah. Okay, another nerf. Pride is, I'm sure, nerfed again. They have minus 0.1 to physical damage reduction. Divergent Pride, okay. Purity of Elements. Anomalous Purity of Elements now grants you and nearby allies. I usually have to read through these twice, by the way, all of these just to fully process, but obviously for the sake of the video, we're not going to be doing that. Okay, Divergent Purity of Elements, nerfed. Fire is going to be nerfed again. The Divergent Purity of Fire, yeah, that's a rough nerf. I mean, all the purities, I'm sure, received the same treatment. Yeah, they did. So, That's this is a huge nerf to Aura Stacker right here. You lose a gigantic amount of penetration by not having these available. Spectre, I didn't go over this because I decided not to do the manifesto video, but they absolutely gutted Spectre in my opinion. This is excessive. This is an excessive nerf if you ask me. They also nerfed Necromancer. I don't know about this. This seems like overkill. But, I mean, obviously we'll see how it plays out and how the builds end up looking. But this feels like overkill to me at base. Again, I'm not a huge build maker. That's not what I like to do. But just glancing at it and just reading through it, it feels like a nerf. Okay. Reeve got buffed. Cool. Rolling Magma. Ooh, that's the first use of that new name. Now clarifies that projectiles can't change. Well, wow, incredible. Scorching Ray. Oh, yeah, one of the devs mentioned that this was their favorite change. So they decrease the mana cost and they lower the base cast time. So that's cool. So Scorching Ray seems a little more viable. I mean, we'll see how it works out, but it seems a little more viable. Scourge Arrow, that is a nerf. It's a lot of nerfs. Very few buffs, it feels like. This is a buff. Seismic Trap, I don't like traps though, so it doesn't matter to me. But maybe you guys do, so in that case, Seismic Trap. Shield Charge. I'm very fascinated to know the Shield Charge. So Shield Charge received a buff to damage, incredible. A buff to the base crit chance per 10 energy shield. And wow, it's just a buff overall, incredible. Shockwave Totem, okay, whatever. Ballista. Spectral Shield Trove. This will be interesting because I feel like this has not been viable for a long time. Now deals 20 to 30 base. Okay, so slight buff to level 1 and a buff to level 20. Okay, nice. They basically just buffed it in the same way that they buffed Shield Charge, it looks like. Similar. Okay. Spectral Throw, static, whatever. Okay, so I'm carrying Golem. Wow. Brutal nerf. Whew, that's a tough one. I didn't play this build last league, but damn, 20% less damage? And Stone Golem less damage, but this is the bigger one. Wow. They really just they hate minion builds this league. What the hell? Sunder buff. Oh, Sunder buff. All right. Divergent Sunder now grants 1% increased phys damage per 1% quality, previously 1% area effect per 1, but this was a bug. Okay. Well, this seems better. Tornado Shot. Ooh, buff for Tornado Shot. Maybe that Helmet Chance is going to go back up in price. Toxic Rain buff. Nice. I played a Toxic Rain guy once. I didn't like it. Unearth. Or rather, I didn't like it for the type of content that I wanted to do. Okay, Unearth. There's a lot of changes to Unearth. Has decreased cast time, decreased mana cost, more damage. Wow, they really took the one out of this one. They really went for it. Oh, it lowered the damage effectiveness though. We'll see how that plays out. Viper Strike, Vitality. I'm sure this is a nerf, and it is. Warlord's Mark. Cursed enemies now cause you to generate 20 rage over 1 second while they're stunned from 5 rage. That's a nice little buff. Now has a duration. Oh. Ooh. Very nice. Winter's Roar was one of my favorite builds. I don't think this is enough to bring it back, but it seems that's a nice change. I mean, you'll take it. And Zealotry is, of course, a nerf, as is tradition. Okay. Vol skill balance, just 2. Nothing crazy there. Just looks like a buff there. And we just saw this above. Okay. Oh, support skills. Okay. Ballista Totem. Not too much there. Just looks like a nerf. Slight nerf. Yeah. Big nerf, actually. Okay. Level 8 at gem level 1. Oh. That makes this a lot more available. Okay. That'll be interesting to mess around with early. Supported gems deal 10% more damage. Okay, so they nerfed the early stuff. I guess that makes sense to coincide with the level change. Okay. Impending Doom support. Doom. Wow, big buff to Doom Blast. Doom Blast now has. Wow, huge buff to Doom. Well, oh no, just kidding. I lied. Oh no, it is big buff. I was reading the other way around. Okay, awesome. So this is a nice little buff there. Intensify no longer support skills that create minions. Okay. Pinpoint no longer supports less poison, whatever. Okay, cool. Passive tree balance. The Impaler Keystone now prevents Call of Steel. Okay, I'm not gonna read through those because I kind of need to see it up once. Ascendancy reworks this is a whole separate topic, so I'm not going to go through these because they made a whole post about this. People seemed pretty upset, but I think that this is always one of those things we have to see how it plays out in terms of the abilities. It's never going to be unplayable. People always overreact. I'm not going to go through all these because this is a lot, but yeah, I think it's probably an overreaction. It frequently is, so I'm not going to go through all these. So let's skip through this. Cultist, Necromancer, keep going, yada yada yada. Ascendant, item balance. Okay, so yeah, if you want to see this sort of stuff, there's plenty of great videos out there that people have made. Zizrin made one I saw. I think Noogie may have made one. There's lots of great people out there. It's already been covered. This has been beaten into a bush. I don't need to go over this again. But yeah, I think people likely are overreacting, as they frequently do. Okay, item balance. Items that appear identified or with visible variable properties in the vendor's window as a result of a recipe, now their properties hidden until the trade is complete. You can only see the modifier values change as a result of different ingredient inputs. You hope for the best. Okay, it's similar to like the Gilded Fossil change is what I'm coming to understand from that. You can outperform the 5-for-1 recipe on items with outputs that are always corrupted, such as talismans and breach rings. You know, 5-for-1 recipe on items. Oh, okay, cool. Maps dropped by special sources such as deterministic chests or league rewards like those found in the Azret mine or the temple. Now use your own atlas to determine which maps to drop, and can therefore drop maps that have been raised above their base tier due to the presence of watchstones. Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. So long I have been waiting for something from like this. You're getting just garbage map tier drops when you're like, you're in like your depth level 400 and you're getting tier 3 maps. Thank god. Maps dropped from these sources also take into account your favorite map selections. If the source cannot find a compatible map from your atlas to drop, for example, too few maps completed or too few watchstones being socketed for a tier 16 to drop, it'll drop a random map of the correct tier instead. Makes sense to me. Thank you. The Blood Altar crafted modifiers will reduce the effect of non-damaging elements on you now, instead grant reduced effective shock and chill. Okay. The Eternal Lab enchant of Venom Gyre, whatever. Okay. Due to a bug fix being labeled with Blight Chest or Lucky Stat from the Crimson Teal, we've adjusted the values of the enormous teal now grants 5 Blight Chests or Lucky and Crimson. Okay. Neato. A little clarity there. The Blight Ring anointments that cause mainstream you shouldn't have increased life instead causes your Scout Tower distribution additional menu, whatever. Okay. Imprinted Eternal Orbs can no longer be applied to fractured items, overriding their fractured modifiers. Not super relevant. Okay, Samite helmets have been reunited. Samnite helmets. My god. I love that this got its own patch note. Cluster Jewel balance. Note that all the following changes affect all existing cluster jewels with these passive skills. So, I mean, they mentioned these are kind of the big ones to note here. I believe it's these two are the biggest changes in terms of massive build usage. So, first among equals is nerfed, and the non-notable non-curse aura effect gems are nerfed, which is another stab in the gut for aura stacker. So aura stacker probably, I mean, it still might be good, but man, this is a tough nerf. These are really tough. I mean, because you're losing, probably 40% increased effective non-curse auras, maybe even more. So those are brutal. Okay. Unique item balances. Replica Nebulous, I know they mentioned this was too strong, and I mean, just based on what people were using it for and all that, I agree it was a little too strong. Oberon's Warpath seemed really good, but it wasn't that crazy expensive. Maybe just because it wasn't that rare. I don't know. Might have been a little bit of an overkill on the nerf, but I don't know. Who am I to say? I don't have the stats that they do. A few other changes: Martyr of Innocence, Disintegrator. Okay. Lord of Use, Lord of Steel. Interesting. Increased reflected damage from call steel existing. No. What? Interesting. Okay. Existing versions can be updated to these new, much worse values with the Divine Orb and a momentary lapse in judgment. Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this to yourself. Summon skeleton mages from... I don't understand why Lord of Steel was nerfed. That seems strange to me. But summon skeleton mages from Dead Reckoning. Now do 50% more damage. Nice. Okay, cool. Some bosses now ignore damage if the source of that damage has been a very long distance from it and for a period of time. Ignore damage if the source Oh man, essentially you can't shoot from the beyond the path. Oh, that's a big change. I feel like that's kind of a big change. I don't know what that means by a very long distance. We'll see, I guess, because it's like if I'm in an arena with a boss and I'm somewhat far away. I don't know. That's gonna be more of a guess and check situation, I think. Well, we'll see. Enduring Cry used by monsters to be given a cooldown, and it's stealing them out standard size, so less ridiculous now. Lovely. Okay. Map changes. Map tiers and locations have been shuffled as we figured. Most maps are now found at different tier. Unique maps have not moved or changed tiers. Cool. Conquer influence maps may now experience an invasion by Cyrus himself. What does that mean? I guess that's like Shaper, when Shaper comes into your maps. Interesting. Zana can now offer missions involving Metamorph, Delirium, Blight, and Harvest. Awesome. That's very cool. Karak now informs you if your Atlas is preventing a Conqueror from appearing, as well as how to fix it. Oh, amazing. Nice little QOL thing there. Karak has now also tell you which region a Conqueror might be hiding in if you ask him. I love it. Cartographer strongboxes can now rarely appear in tier 13 and higher maps. Amazing. Hall of Grandmasters has been removed from the Atlas. Whoa. No more paying for hog carries. Or Hotka carries. Okay, so I guess it's like Harbinger now. Or Beachhead, rather. Wow. What do you know? Okay. I mean, I'm about this. This map should not have been on the Atlas. It requires 2 specific builds to run. And it's like the fact that 9 people out of 10 probably have to pay for a carrier if they want to do it in Trade League. Like, that's stupid. Good call. Great call, in fact. Mods available: Fortune Favorites Brave, Normal, Warbands, Anarchy, Ambush, Domination, Parandus, Beyond. Hell yeah. Legion. Alright, nice. So no Delirium this time. That was a bummer. I liked Delirium last league. The Quest Tracker, okay, UI improvements. The Quest Tracker now supports expandable sections. You'll probably see this during the new Atlas storyline. It has a lot of subquests. Huh. Okay, that'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Your friends list once more displays offline friends in the order in which they were last online rather than alphabetically. Interesting. Is that something people want? Because it says once more. I kind of liked it alphabetically. Maybe that's just me. Okay. You can now set the relative volume of a custom alerts and an item filter, whatever. You can now filter cluster jewels by number of small passives they have in your item filter. Oh, awesome. That's a nice change. Crack no longer displays Zana's decoration level in his dialogue panel. Thank God, I've been waiting for this change for so long. My gosh. You are now warned when changing your hideout while you have map portals open. Good to know. Efficacy support, I guess this is changed because as well the level changed, so they redesigned efficacy a little bit. Trinity and Hydrosphere offered to Witch Templar and Shadow, Witch Duelist and Ranger. Okay. Fantastic. PvP changes, I'm going to skip right over that. How many bug changes are there? Whoa, a lot of bug changes. Okay. Fixed a bug which prevented Cyclone's channeling speed to be affected by modifiers to attack speed. Fixed a bug which prevented their channeling speed to be affected by modifiers to attack speed. That seems like a big bug. Okay. Mac clients skipping. Sorry, Mac users. Fixed a bug where diversion swift affliction would incorrectly grant you a permanent movement speed if you inflicted an enemy with an ailment. Wow, that's another big bug. The correct behavior is that only the afflicted entities or the enemy will grant gaining. Okay, seems like a big bug. Fixed a bug where the triggered flame dash and lightning warp skills from Infernal Blade series of base types. Okay, fixed a bug which prevented cosmetic effects from being applied to a support gem. Whatever. Fixed a bug which prevented repeated cleaves with the demon hand cosmetic applied. That's certainly these are just cosmetic bugs. Unique belt. Fixed bug where while wearing the unique belt, chains of emancipation using a flask that removes curses would not cause you to gain rage in a map that applies temporal chains to you. That is so specific. I don't even know how this is so specific. Okay. Fixed the bug where skeleton monsters in some heist tile sets were dealing spell damage with a skill which should have been considered an attack. Okay. Fixed the bug where one of the beam skills used by Kurgle, the black-blooded sin purchased from Legion monoliths, and okay, not throughout. So if you dodged or were hit by the first damage, you dodge or be hit by all of them. Okay, good to know. That's a good bug to fix. Fix the bug or blanching never to hit you. Fix the bug for rule to only hit targets at a very specific distance. Fix the bug which caused chill and shock ground to act as if you had double the values of any modifiers to not. Okay. Fix the bug where brute force obstacle in a heist would rarely appear to still exist after all collision have been removed. where a brute force obstacle would rarely appear to select after all click. That happened to me more than once. That's not rare. I mean, maybe I played a lot, but it's still rare. That doesn't seem rare to me. Fixed a bug, but either way, glad they fixed it. Fixed a bug where enemy converted by a heist member could fire a projectile through your flame wall while it was an ally die, and then have that projectile nuke you with your own flame wall debuff due to now being an enemy projectile. Okay, that's a good one. Fixed a bug which caused ancestor totems to never attack if they lost line of sight. Fixed a bug where ground effects and auras could continue to affect you well beyond their range. You performed an in-area transition if the precise mode was created. Another very specific one. Excuse me. Fixed an exploit which allowed you to endlessly stack certain stats from auras. Man, they just hate auras, don't they? Fixed a bug which allowed Orb Binding to bypass socket penalties. Okay, that seems good. I mean, Orb Binding is just trash tier useless, but whatever. Fixed a bug where assigning the signal prey skill to your left mouse will result in you getting booted for performing too many actions while running around. Interesting. Okay. Fixed a bug where incursion temple room options regenerate based on your character's level rather than the level of the area in which you found Alva. Okay. I guess that's a good thing. That's a good thing to me. Fixed the number of cases where strong boxes could appear in locations that could prevent movement. Great. Fixed the number of cases where the items could drop in inaccessible areas. Also great. Fixed a bug caused Discipline to grant twice as much ES recharge. So they fixed this bug and they also nerfed the crap out of Discipline ES recharge. Am I wrong? Okay. Well, Discipline just got toasted a little bit. Fixed a bug caused cremation to not carry the benefits. Fixed a bug which caused Cyclone's quality-based interruption, whatever. Unique Jewel, Natural Instinct to ignore its implicit if a small passive in its radius had the same stat. How do people even find this stuff? It's such a specific bug. Fixed a bug which caused PvP ratings to stop decaying. Thank God, I've been waiting for this one for all wipe. All league, I've been waiting for this. Fixed a bug which caused Cyrus to not use certain skills during his last phase. Fixed a bug where Hex Tech Sport and Impending Doom. Okay. I might skip over the rest of these. Fixed a bug where the action freeze locking the boss of the green map. Okay, yeah, these are very specific. There's a lot more bugs. Nothing. Didn't see anything too crazy as I just glanced past that a second ago, but I'm assuming top of mind bug fixes were probably at the top. So, okay, those are the patch notes. I'm super hyped. These seem really awesome. I mean, the hype that to me doesn't derive from the patch notes. It derives from the announcements and the actual major changes. So like the Echoes of the Atlas, all of this is my hype, but it's really awesome to see this stuff. And I know that people who love making builds are going to just digest the hell out of this and enjoy this. But that was my first take. I'm really excited. I didn't see anything that I thought was necessarily egregiously horrible that I can recall. So they definitely seem like they nerfed quite a few things. I mean, Aura Stacker just got absolutely toasted as promised. But all in all, seems like good changes to me. I mean, I'm really excited to see the Frostbomb changes in action. Hydrosphere seems really interesting. I don't know if I'll start with that, but it seems interesting. But either way, very cool. I am so excited for this expansion. Get ready to see lots of content. Thank you guys for watching this, and I will catch you in the next one.